Yeah, Sarah.
The Republicans, as you know, they're already on the attack.
Of course.
They're blaming Tim Walz for letting Minnesota burn during George Floyd, et cetera, et cetera. So how will he help the ticket with white suburban voters, especially women?
Well, let's start with the fact that he has been a pro-choice advocate for his entire career, that he has brought school breakfast and lunch to the children of Minnesota, that he has in every way demonstrated that he is trustworthy and a person of integrity, and that's a heck of a lot more than you can say for the vice presidential choice that Donald Trump made.
How many times did you speak either in person or by Zoom with the vice president? And second question, Senator Joe Lieberman famously said, being vetted is like having a colonoscopy without any anesthesia. Can you offer a little bit of insight? It's something nobody in this room will likely go through. Give us an anecdote, if you would.
Actually, I saw an interview that was done with somebody who led a vetting process in a previous administration, several previous administrations, might have been on your station. And I think they described it very well. So I'm not going to review that. I'll just say, it's an honor to be considered, and it's a grueling process, but one that, as you may recall, Tammy Duckworth went through back in 2020, and it was months longer than this process. I think that it's a worthwhile thing because all of us, and Tammy in particular, I would say, along with me, we know how important this election is. And so, we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we win.
And how many interactions did you have with her, if any, over the last 2 weeks?
With the vice president? Several, but there are a lot of people in the process, so I interacted with them and provided whatever information was necessary. And I was, I think getting through all the way to the end and having a kind of a last interview at the end was also an honor, because I think, they're along the way, as you can imagine, the decisions get made. And so every time you get a call saying, here's another thing we'd like you to engage in and talk to us about, means that you're still in the process and that, you're somebody that they value enough to have you around till the very end.
Governor, have you contemplated, either with Vice President Harris or just with yourself in your inner circle, a cabinet position? Is that
No.
something that you would be to the governorship for?
That is not something I've contemplated. I really do love the job that I have, and remember that we've made a lot of improvements. We have a lot of work to do still for the state of Illinois, but we have made a lot of improvements, and I think every day I try to think about what's the next thing, what's on the list now that we can do to make people's lives better. Today was a great day.
Is there a question you can share with us that you were asked, I don't know, for those of us who might have future job interviews, anything that was a bit stumping?
You're expecting a vice presidential job interview. You might. You're terrific on TV, I might add. I can't think of anything that you wouldn't already know, that people might get asked. I think, importantly, I think that the process is one that attempts to weed out, can you be somebody's support mechanism, right, to be the number two? Can you bring another set of advice to the table that's valuable? And I think, you don't get on that list unless they think you actually could be president of the United States and do the job if you had to. So I can't think of a particular question you wouldn't already know gets asked. But again, it's an honor to be asked, even if some of those questions are like a colonoscopy.
The last question